Hey lovely freaks, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host Amanda, and if you're new here, hi, welcome. If you like things strange and unusual and true crime, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button. You can also head down to the description box and you'll see a link that will take you to our link tree. That will also take you to Instagram at Lovely Freaks Podcast, Facebook, and all that jazz. I know, silent. I don't have all that jazz girl here. So as most of you know, our intro is a little different today. That is because my sister is on vacation for 2 weeks. She is in South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado. Yeah, she's going to go to Yellowstone. They're just going to all different kinds of places, her and my parents. So it's just me today, which I know is crazy, but we're going to get through this, okay? She will hopefully be back probably around the 18th, I believe, if that's a Friday, I don't know. But that'll be around the time that we should have her back. So for this week and next week, it'll be me. I may have a special guest next week. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't aired all the details out yet of who I'm going to have on. But I may have a special guest. So for today, you guys get me. I'm kind of nervous because it's the first time I've done this all by my lonesome. But it's okay. We're going to get through this together. And if I pretend like I'm talking to someone, don't freak out. I'm talking to you, okay? Okay. For today, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to actually be talking about the Mandela Effect. Now, I know I haven't done a lot of conspiracy theories on this channel, or on this podcast. I don't know why I said channel, whatever. But it's fine because today I'm going to be doing one. I don't really usually like conspiracy theories or, something like that. But the Mandela Effect freaks me out because there are so many things that, and different ones that we're going to talk about today. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to inform you. But there's just a lot of different Mandela effects or whatever you want to call it that have happened that I'm just like, no, that's not, that's not how that would happen. That's not how that is. So we're going to go over some that you've probably heard, and we're going to go over some that you probably haven't, because there's one that blew my mind, and it's probably, I'm going to talk about it, but it blew my mind because it was a movie that I've watched since I was a child. My kids have watched it, and my sister, nobody saw it. Nobody remembers this at all, and we'll go over what that is. So for those that don't know what the Mandela Effect is, let me kind of tell you. The Mandela Effect is, and this is what's the word I'm looking for? Like a definition that I'm reading off the internet. So it's that the Mandela Effect is an unusual phenomenon where a large group of people remember something differently than how it occurred. Conspiracy theorists believe this is proof of an alternate universe, while many doctors use it as an illustration of how imperfect memory can be sometimes. So some people, yes, believe that it is proof that an alternate universe exists. Some people think it has something to do with the Matrix, if you believe in the Matrix and that, like a glitch in the Matrix. Some people believe that, and then you have doctors that believe it's just our memories. It's just our memories aren't as good as we think that it is. So, but the only problem I have with that is the one Mandela Effect I'm going to tell you guys about that my daughter doesn't even remember. And she's only 6. So for her or my son, my daughter's 6, my son is 12, they don't even remember this being in this certain thing. And I'm going to elaborate. I don't want to give away too much, but it's a show. It's a movie. I'll just put it that way. There's something in a movie that they don't even remember it being in there. And their minds were blown. So we're going to kind of start with a bunch of different Mandela effects, I guess. I have a bunch of different ones. The first one, the reason why it's kind of called the Mandela Effect is because of Nelson Mandela. It's kind of who this theory is named after. He died in 2013. However, countless people kind of remember him dying in prison in the 1980s. And not like just a few people. Like we're talking like hundreds and thousands of people. Like a lot of people were like, why is he dying in 2013? He died a long time ago in 1980. But his death isn't the only explanation of the Mandela Effect. And I'm going to kind of go over some of these here in just a second. So one of the ones that I kind of like blew my mind. There's quite a few of these, but we're just going to kind of go over each one of them. This one is Jiffy peanut butter. So, do you guys remember Jiffy peanut butter or Jif peanut butter? Well, do you think it's Jiffy or Jif? Because I distinctly remember everyone when I was growing up, and even like to this day, people still call it Jiffy peanut butter. Like nobody calls it Jif peanut butter. Why would anybody call it that? I swear to the good Lord above. I even remember it being on the bottle saying Jiffy, or well, on the container, not bottle, whatever it is. But yeah, so it's not Jiffy. It's Jif. It's not Jiffy, it's Jif. This whole time. By the way, for those of you that don't know what the Mandela Effect is, and you're just learning this for the first time, also, this is not like they reprinted something and now it's different, but it used to be Jiffy back in the day. This is like it never existed at all. Like, imagine you thinking your whole life it's Jiffy peanut butter, but then you look back and it says Jif, and then you go, well, it must have said it like in the 80s, right? But you look at it, no, never there. It was never there to begin with. That's what we're talking about. Blows my mind. I don't understand it. So, anywho, and people swear that it was Jiffy peanut butter, but apparently it was not. Now there's another one, Looney Tunes. So this doesn't make any sense to me, but it's not tunes like Toons. It's tunes like the tunes on the radio. It's Tunes, which freaks me out because I distinctly remember it being Looney Tunes, like cartoons, the Toons. I swear on everything. Like I would literally put my hand on a Bible and swear, if I didn't see this already on the internet, I would swear that it's Toons. But it's not. It's Tunes. What? That freaks me out so bad. I don't understand it. Because I used to love Looney Tunes when I was little. So obviously a lot of people have heard about the Berenstain Bears, or I can't ever really say it correctly, so don't come for me. I didn't even read the book when I was younger. I had the book, and I actually have a book somewhere in this house, I'm pretty sure. It might be at my parents', but some people say that it was the Berenstain Bears, but it's Berenstain with an A. That one really freaked a lot of people out, but I didn't really get that one because I didn't really read the books that much. But apparently it freaked a lot of people out, like to the point where people were like commenting and writing in and saying, you know, there's absolutely no way it's spelled this way with an A, it's with an E, and all this stuff. But like I said, I didn't really get that one simply because it wasn't a really big book that I read when I was younger. I read the Golden Books when I was younger. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. The Golden Books were the best, man. So, Curious George. This one I also am not sure of, but Curious George's tail, apparently it was never there. I did watch Curious George, and I could have swore I remember in the cartoons that he had a tail. But apparently he doesn't have a tail, and he never did, I guess. One that some people freak out about is Sex in the City, and this is kind of an example of me knowing one and being like, oh yeah, that's totally correct, because some people remember it being Sex in the City, but the actual title was Sex and the City. I remember it being Sex and the City. And I always thought it was weird. I always thought it should have said Sex and the City because there's sex and they're in the city. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But I always thought, but I knew it was Sex and the City, but I always thought it should have been the other way. Like, in my mind, I just thought it should have been. But a lot of people apparently believe that it should have been too. So here's one that blew my mind. Febreze. Okay. So I always thought that it was Febreze with 2 E's. Febreze, right? Like I said that, Febreze. Evidently not. It's just Febreze, like Febreze. But I always thought it had 2 E's in it. That was another one that blew me away. So here's one that a lot of people freak out about. Oscar Meyer. A lot of people say that it had an E in it. The Meyer. Meyer. But it's actually Mayer. I don't really know about that one. I mean, we ate Oscar Mayer hot dogs when I was younger, but I never really looked at the package, and I didn't buy them, so, whatever, to each his own. But that's just one thing that somebody... And by the way, if you are watching this on our YouTube, then you'll see all these pop up. If you're not, then Google it. But yeah, so really, really weird. Froot Loops. So Kellogg's has been spelling Froot Loops like that for years, and I didn't ever realize it. But it's not fruit, like Fruit loops. It's Froot loops, which that's another one that I was like, yeah, it's Froot Loops with the two what's it called? Cereals. I remember that one. I remember it being 2 cereals because I always used to think it was weird. I was like, why don't they spell it fruit, like Fruit? I don't understand. But if you thought it was fruit and not fruit like Froot, if you thought it was spelled fruit the first way, then you're wrong. It's not spelled fruit like it should be. This one's really weird to me. I've never seen this one, but somebody's gonna let me know. So the Skechers, a lot of people thought that it was Skechers with a T, but it doesn't have a T in it. So instead of Sketchers, it's really Skechers. There's no T. Skechers, I guess people thought it, but I never thought that. Like I always thought it was weird that it didn't have a T because it kind of sounds like it should. But that was one that I was like, yeah, I knew it was spelled weird because kind of like the Sex and the City one. I kind of remember Sex and the City being Sex and the City, not in the city. Okay, this one freaked me out. And if you've heard about the Mandela Effect, then you've heard about this one. The Monopoly Man. Does he have a monocle? You might remember some TV shows and some movies portraying him with a monocle. You might even remember him being on the box with a monocle on his eye. Because he's a Monopoly Man, Turns out, no, he doesn't have a monocle. Never did. As a matter of fact, you can look back on, that was another thing that freaked me out about the Mandela Effect. You can look back on things that you may have, like books or movies or, like I thought that he had a monocle my entire life. And I looked back on a very old Monopoly, like we're talking 1980 Monopoly set. Never had a monocle. And I was like, no, there's no way. I was like, no, you're lying. You were lying to me. There's no way. He's never not had a monocle, but apparently not. So yeah, don't get freaked out if you look back on like the Berenstain Bears or the Monopoly or anything like that, and you notice that it didn't have what you thought it did, because that's what a lot of people have gotten freaked out about. So along with that one freaking me out, this one also freaked me out. Pikachu's tail. It's another one of those that I would put my hand on a Bible and swear on a Bible before I saw this that Pikachu had a black tail. Like, somebody could have had a gun to my head and been like, I'm going to shoot you if you don't tell me the truth about whether Pikachu has a black on his tail or not. And I'd be like, yeah, he's totally got black. I'd be dead because he doesn't, apparently. Like, what? What? I can't. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Why doesn't Pikachu have black on his tail? Does anybody else distinctly remember that? Because I do. And I wasn't a huge Pokemon fan, but I do remember watching it, and I do remember my friends watching it. I had a lot of guy friends in high school and in junior high, and I remember them playing cards, and always, I remember him having a black tail, black like little stripies on his tail. Evidently, he never had it. Whatever. Kit Kat bar. Some people remember there being a dash in between Kit and Kat. I personally don't remember that, but some people do. And so it's not there. There's not a dash in the middle of Kit and Kat at all. Not a dash. Let that one sink in if you thought there was, because I don't know. I didn't. Now, Fruit of the Loon. I swear I remember it having the cornucopia behind it. And this one blew my mind. I've seen this one before. This one blew me away because I was like, I think I took a test, like a quiz, a couple of years ago whenever I found out about the Mandela Effect. Thanks to Shane Dawson. But this is probably longer than a couple. This is probably like 4 years ago. He did an episode on it, and I was like, what is that? Mandela Effect? And this is one of the ones he was talking about. Fruit of the Loon. It never had a cornucopia in it. And I was like, yes, it did. And I think I took a quiz and even failed that part because it didn't have a cornucopia. And I thought it did. So, another one, which is really crazy to me. So, let's see. Mona Lisa. So, there are a lot of theories about this one. But so many people have claimed that she used to have a more obvious smile. So some people think that she used to have a really big smile, and she didn't really have a big smile, which she never had a big smile. As at one point when I was probably junior high-ish, I always thought that she wasn't smiling at all. But she is smiling just a tinge of a bit, but she never smiled big. Some people think that she like had this huge smile on her face, but she didn't. And I'm an art major, or was an art major in college. So, I mean, obviously, that was one of the major things about Mona Lisa, was that it's Mona Lisa's smile, but it's not really a smile. I don't know if you could classify it as that. So, another one that a lot of people freak out about, and I kind of freaked out about this because I thought that it was in Star Wars when Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father." I thought that's what it was. Like my entire childhood, adulthood, whatever, until I met my husband. And when I told him about this, I said, wait, isn't it Luke, I am your father? He's like, no, it's not that. By the way, guys, full disclosure, my husband is a huge Star Wars fan. I'm not talking like, yeah, he's seen all the movies and he can quote them. I'm talking like he's seen the movies, the shows, he's read the books, he knows every single lore there is about Star Wars. If he doesn't know it, he'll figure it out and he'll learn it quickly, so that way he will know. If you tried to get in a debate with my husband about Star Wars, you'd probably lose, be quite honest, unless you were like a diehard fan like him. So going back, I was like, if he tells me something in Star Wars, like when he told me this, I was like, oh, okay, you're right then, because I don't argue when it comes to that. I love Star Wars, but I'm not a big fan like him, like that big of a fan. I'm a fan, but not a huge fan. So it's not Luke, I am your father. It's no, I am your father. Or it's just I am your father. I can't remember if it's no, I am your father, or just I am your father. I think it's no, I am your father. Whatever the case is, it's not Luke like everybody says it is. Everybody says, Luke, I am your father. That's not it, apparently. So if that one freaked you out, you can go back and watch Star Wars and you can see the episode where he doesn't say that, apparently. Another one that messed up some people pretty bad was Snow White. So the line that wasn't in Snow White, where she said, mirror, mirror on the wall. In fact, the Wicked Queen actually says magic mirror on the wall. And I remember that one. I remember her saying magic mirror on the wall. I liked Snow White when I was younger, and that was one thing that I would like say in my room, probably when I was, I don't know, my daughter's age, probably like 6 and 7. I'd be like, magic mirror on the wall. So yeah, I do remember that one for sure. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people think that she said mirror, mirror on the wall. And that's another thing about this. Like, you can't look back. Like, I know on our YouTube right now, I'm putting side-by-side comparisons of what people thought it was and what it actually was. But you can't do that with movies. Like, if you go back and look at the movie and you're like, no, that's not what they said, the movie's gonna show you the truth. And that was what blew my mind. Even when it comes to Forrest Gump, that's what it was. So, life is like a box of chocolates. Is it life is like a box of chocolates? Or was it life was like a box of chocolates? Because I used to always think he said, Mama always told me life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Like, I distinctly remember that. And I went back and watched it. This was a couple of years ago when I found out about this one. And I was like, no. I've seen Forrest Gump like 1,000,000 times. I love that movie. It's like, life is like a box of chocolates. But it wasn't. He says life was like a box of chocolates. And I'm just like, why would you even say that? Was like a box of life was? What? That doesn't even make any sense. So yeah, even if you go back and watch these movies, you're going to be sadly disappointed because it's not what you thought it was. And that's what blows my mind. I mean, you could have the original version of Star Wars or Forrest Gump and know for a fact that it said those things. But when you go back and watch it, it didn't. Which brings me to my next one. This is one that I found out about the other day. And when I tell you guys that my mind was blown, I still can't even legitimately wrap my head around it. I was watching TikTok, and they were talking about Mandela effects. Most of them I had seen, wasn't that big of a deal. I was like, yeah, I've seen that one, and blah. They still freak me out, just like the monocle on the Monopoly Man. But I've kind of accepted it. Okay, whatever. It never happened. But this one I still cannot understand. And it is The Wizard of Oz. So, do you know when they are in the forest and it gets really creepy and it's right before the monkeys like attack and all that jazz? But no, so the tiger has something in his hand. I don't remember what it is. Maybe it's his own tail or something. And the scarecrow grabs the tiger and they're like scared and they're all cuddled up next to each other. Guess what the scarecrow has in his hand? A fucking gun. What? Excuse me? Huh? And the Tin Man has a pipe wrench. Excuse me, what? When did this happen? Because I don't even remember that. I don't know about the Tin Man, whatever, but especially the Scarecrow. First of all, where would he get a gun? You're in the middle of the woods, and you just came down off of, like, the Scarecrow thingy, and you're a Scarecrow. Where did you get the gun from? I don't remember there ever being a gun in that scene, but evidently there's a gun in that scene. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. I even went back on our Wizard of Oz DVD and watched it, and it's in there because I was like, no, that's bullshit. Like, this is one where, because sometimes there will be Mandela effects where you read it and then you go back, especially on TikTok. I think it's just some that people have just made up just to make it up. And I was like, well, maybe he didn't have a gun on the TV, like when they showed it on TV, because I remember when I was younger, they would show it on TV. And maybe they had like different versions. Maybe they had like, different rating versions or TV version where it didn't have the gun because maybe that was too violent. No. Evidently, and I looked it up, I Googled it, he's always had a gun. He wasn't supposed to. They thought it would be too scary, but he got the prop anyways and used the gun. I mean, I've Googled this, okay? So he's always had a gun. If I'm wrong, someone please help me out on this, because this one still freaks me out. Like, I can't, and this is the one that I told you about my kids. Adeline, my daughter, she loves this movie. She's watched this movie over and over and over again, like 100 times since she was probably 3. And I showed her the other day, and she said, no, he doesn't have a gun. My daughter, by the way, is very intelligent, and my son, but she's only 6, so she's very smart. She is high reading level, all this stuff. So for her to think that, no, there's no way there was a gun in that, I'm just like, yeah, I totally agree. There's not a gun. She was like, no, there's never been one. Why does he have a gun? Even my son, he's 12, and he was like, I don't ever remember that at all. And he would watch the movie with her sometimes. So yeah, I'll let that one sink in. Now the pipe wrench for the Tin Man, I'm not quite sure, because I don't know, I just never really, it's not in view really, because it's kind of on his shoulder, he's holding it backwards, or he's holding it on his shoulder, so I never really kind of noticed it. But the gun, it's very noticeable. I mean, the gun is like in your face in the middle of the scarecrow and the lion. The scarecrow's holding it, and he's like scared and looking around, and I'm just like, what? I don't remember that. And it's still, I have no words. It was so bad. My sister was spending the night with me, Hannah. I woke her up from a dead ass sleep, and I was like, I'm done with life. I can't anymore. She's like, what happened? I was like, you gotta come in here and see this. You have to come in here and see this Mandela Effect I just found. And she was like, oh my God, is this what you're waking me up for? I was like, yeah, you're damn right I am, because my mind is blown. Like, I don't even, I can't, I have no words. She was like, okay. And so when I brought her in the bedroom to watch the part, she said, where did that come from? I said, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, look it up, guys, because it's crazy and I don't understand it. There's another one. There's another Mandela Effect about Chick-Fil-A. So, do you think it used to say, I vividly remember it being spelled Chick, C-H-I-C, not like chick like it should be, but different, kind of like a different spelling. Apparently it's always been spelled C-H-I-C-K. And the reason why I remember it, I even asked my husband, he used to work at Chick-Fil-A, like way long time ago when we first got together. And I said, I showed him the picture, and I was like, which one of these is the correct spelling for Chick-fil-A? Because you worked there for like a year. Which one of these is the correct spelling? He was like, the first one. It's C-H-I-C. Filet. I was like, no, it's not. He was like, yes, it is. I said, no, it's not. No, never has been, never was, never a thing, ever. So, yeah, evidently, it is, C-H-I-C-K. It's chick, like an actual chick, like how you would spell chick. But I don't remember it being that way. So, if that's one that you thought, if that's one that blew your mind, I'm sorry. Sorry to put you down this rabbit hole. And guys, I hope I'm not being too boring talking about this. But you can definitely look these up so that way, you'll understand them, because yeah, I don't know. There's another one in a movie. I don't know if you guys have seen Risky Business, but in Risky Business, whenever he has like his shirt on and his underwear and his socks and all that, and he slides into the living room. Well, apparently a lot of people remember in Risky Business him having shades on, like sunshades. Evidently he never had sunshades. So yeah, never had them. He never had, I think people remember him having Ray-Bans is what it is. But, yeah, Tom Cruise is not wearing sunglasses. And I can't really remember that one. Like, I know the movie. I love the movie, Risky Business, but I can't really remember it, so I can't really comment on it. But yeah, Tom Cruise apparently was never wearing shades. Let that one sink in. Then there's one where... The most startling example, I'm going to read this off of something because it's funny. So one of the most startling examples of the Mandela Effect is the widespread belief that an entire featured film existed titled Shazam, starring actor and comedian Sinbad as the genie. So a whole bunch of people remember this. I distinctly remember this. What people are recalling, though, is probably Kazam in 1996. And Shaquille O'Neal was like the genie that helped grant the wishes or whatever. I remember Sinbad being in Shazam. And I even think at one point, if I remember this correctly, I could be wrong, but I think somebody asked him in an interview that if he ever did Shazam or Kazam or whatever, not Kazam, but Shazam, and he was like, yeah, I did that. And I don't know if he was just joking or whatnot, but yeah, I remember Sinbad being a genie in something. I don't know what it was. I don't know why my brain goes there, but I distinctly remember that. And that's what's so crazy about all this. Like, it's not like it's just a few people or, one or two people, like, experiencing this. This is, like, hundreds and thousands of people experiencing this, and they can't understand why it is the way it is. I don't know. A lot of people thought, like, the Berenstain Bears and Berenstain, a lot of people thought that it was, like, a typo. Some of the books were just typos, and maybe they were just losing it. Like, but evidently not. So, whatever. The Flintstones, Yabba Dabba Doo. They're the most popular Stone Age family, but with such international recognition, why is it that so many people don't know how to spell Flintstones, the family name? A lot of times, the first T in Flintstones is dropped with the animated reference. Like, for some reason, people just think it's Flintstone, but it's Flintstones. But I don't know. I don't really know about that one. But yeah, it's just crazy. That's pretty much all that I can think of. There's another one. Sorry, guys, I'm looking for it because there's one that I cannot remember to save my life. I'm trying to think. Oh, what is it? It's a movie. Oh, Silence of the Lambs. That's what it is. Okay. So, in Silence of the Lambs, I'm trying to get there. I know what it is anyways. I was looking for it, but I know what it says. So, apparently, you know how all of us think that in Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter says, "Hello, Clarice." No, he never said that. He never even said hello. Evidently. All he said was good morning. I don't even know if he said Clarice. He says good morning, though. And that one freaked me out because the whole, like, my whole generation would walk around saying, "Hello, Clarice." Like, that was one thing that we remember distinctly that he said in that movie. So it's just like, what? No. Where did we get that? Just kind of like the Luke, "I am your father." Where did people get that? Did somebody just start it and then kind of like the "Hello, Clarice" thing, and then it just kind of kept going? Life is like a box of chocolates. I can see where that kind of life is. That's just one word. But with Luke, I am your father, we're talking about like something strong, like Luke, I am your father. You would think that would not stick, and it would be the actual words that would stick in a Star Wars movie, for God's sakes. And then Hannibal Lecter. Silence of the Lambs was a huge movie. And you would think that, well, so was Forrest Gump, but whatever. This is like an iconic thing that he says. Hello, Clarice. But he never said it, evidently. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. It sucks. It really sucks. There was one where some people think that there was 52 states at one point. There's a debate about there was 52 states or 50. I just always remember 50. So I can't really say much on that one. But if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. Then you know. There's some other ones, but I don't really know much about them, so I'm not going to kind of get into them. There's some people that remember Patrick Swayze, like, we do know that he passed away, but there's some people that remember him actually recovering from cancer and not dying from it. There's some people that distinctly remember Leonardo DiCaprio getting an Oscar. I don't ever remember that. He got an Oscar in 2016 for the first time, and I remember that because that always made me mad. I didn't understand why he never got an Oscar before that, because he's a very, very talented actor. Lord of the Rings. I've watched Lord of the Rings so many times, so you know that a lot of people remember him saying "run, you fools," but it's "fly, you fools," and I remember that one distinctly. That's another thing. If there was ever a Mandela Effect that came out about Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, and they tried to tell me that it was different than what I believed and what I remembered it, I would probably, you'd have to put me in an insane asylum. Like, I don't even know. Like, if it ever came out that Harry Potter, it was never said that in Harry Potter, it was never said it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Like, I would be like, no, I'm done. It's done. We're over. It's done. Because that is what she said. Like, or what he said. I would be so upset. I would be like, nope. So anyways, but yeah, that's the Mandela Effect, you guys. I hope that you guys had a great time going down this rabbit hole with me. It was so much fun. If you want to see all these, you can Google them. There's lots of different places where you can find these. Also, if you want to watch it as I talk about it, it's on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. A lot of you guys know that. So yeah, just head on over there. But that's pretty much it. I believe that next week we're going to maybe do aliens. Haven't quite figured it out yet. We might do some alien cases. Trying to think. We're going to definitely, we either will do that or we might do an abduction case. You guys really like the abduction cases, and I hope that you guys like this. It was really weird me doing this by myself without somebody to like bounce ideas off of and talk to about all this. But yeah, I can't wait for my sister to come back. We're gonna be ready to see each other and ready to do the damn thing. But anyways, so we hope that I hope that you guys my outro is going to be really different. So I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you guys later. Bye.